The Herald destroys the island to expose the Zero Point, ready for the last reality to swoop in and take it. Lucky for us, in a surprising turn of events, the Zero Point protects itself, destroying the mothership and fleeing. It's here that Paradigm comes into play. Using Zero Fusion, she's able to work with the orb and rebuild the island. Grabbing from countless realities to form a new world, everything is pieced back together. With the 7 turned to chrome and the imagined order gone, it is time for a fresh start. On this new island, the scientist robot assistant, Amy, leaves us with a final message from Paradigm. She asks us to deliver a mysterious kinetic ore to the one who lives in this medieval castle. We do so, learning that its ruler is the Ageless, a young king who looks a little too familiar. The reality was brought to the island during Zero Fusion, and it becomes apparent who this actually is. Judging from the banners, his appearance, and obsession with perfection, we're looking at Geno. Well, a snapshot of him. This is the ruler of the Oathbound who was left in Geno's place when he abandoned his homeworld. His right-hand man is Stellan the Rift Warden, who wishes to create a bridge to new realities. It wasn't possible with their medieval technology until they were brought to the island and discovered kinetic ore. With our refined version, they have unlocked the power to create pure portals. Yes, the origins of the Imagined Order are replaying themselves in real time, and the ore was a big help. But Stellan can't make this portal without another influence. A voice that guides him every step of the way. He kept this to himself, terrified of what he would do if he disobeyed their orders.
There is a being, a shapeless man. He watches us with dark purpose. If we do not finish the rift gate, the consequences will be terrible.
The final step in building this bridge to realities is deep in the forest, a bronze vault made to protect the Zero Point. Of course, you need this power in order to make pure portals, and the voice in Stellan's head shows in the way. Except, it's quickly becoming obvious that this rift gate wasn't made to connect realities. It's a portal leading to the Shapeless Man. More importantly, this voice in Stellan's head has dark intentions, and his identity could already be known. Only one man has the overwhelming power to rebuild himself atom by atom, the real Geno. Turns out that after the Foundation and Jones left him to die, this wasn't the end of his story. And while he remains shapeless, he's directing his original kingdom to bring him back to the island. At least that's the intention. So Amy begins an investigation of her own as we send test subjects through the gate. They return disfigured or corrupted by darkness. It seems that everything Amy sends through the portal immediately goes searching for him as he is her creator. But when they return, they give us an update on the fate of the 7.
He's different now. They're all different now. As we speak, they change its scope of his existence anew. A fate darker than the worst imaginable. You'll find him. But will you get there in time to save him?
The Foundation once said that their armor keeps them alive in different realities, even the nothing beyond them. But after being devoured by Chrome, they're different now, slowly losing themselves to the darkness. Amy, as a robot, is programmed to protect the scientist and does everything in her power to save him. She prepares a rescue mission with a new body and goes to the Rift Gate. This will be the last time we see Amy. Instead, the portal begins to destabilize, bringing more realities to the island before breaking down and closing. The resulting earthquakes cause the ground to collapse on itself, revealing this abandoned world. The Shapeless Man's plan failed, but there's another villain around the corner and he will change the storyline as we know it forever. Before that happens, we look deep into the jungle where our mind is blown. In the wreckage of a crushed tank, Dr. Sloan emerges. She survived the Zero War and is confused by how she got here. However, it's not long before she gets her bearings and begins to investigate this strange ancient world. In the ruins, she finds markings that predict the future, along with an apparatus used by those who lived here thousands of years ago. She had no idea what happened to this society. They were an advanced civilization who used the stars to project the future, and yet they vanished without a trace. The markings seem to show an incoming eclipse that'll bring the end of the world. But with further research, Sloan realizes that this phenomenon isn't natural. How could the ancients predict this with the stars if it wasn't a natural event? There's only one explanation: it has already happened before. They're warning us that soon it'll happen again. So Sloan realizes the signal is all too familiar and calls an old friend for backup. And just like that, it's time for the eclipse to arrive. As the daylight is covered and the island is shrouded in darkness, Cato Thorne makes himself known. He's a vampire who's made a whole career collecting various artifacts from across reality. On the surface, he runs a successful hotel resort business, but in the shadows, Cato has a time machine. He uses this to travel through history, collecting relics and treasures for his own personal collection, such as Oro's skull, Midas' severed hand, and an ancient calendar which seemed to have ties to the 7. Now, he's arrived in 2023 at the perfect opportunity for Sloan to pull off a daring heist. She's abandoned the Imagined Order, or what's left of it, realizing the error of her ways, or so we think, as she keeps to herself and focuses on this mysterious plan. Phase 1 of this operation involves stealing the time machine from under Cato Thorne's nose. She hires a group of professional thieves to pull off the heist of a century as they sneak into his mansion and get away without a problem. Before Cato can retaliate and feast on his prey, he has even bigger worries. As a time-traveling vampire, he has made a lot of enemies, especially hunters like Shimmerdusk, who have spent years chasing him. Now, without the time machine as an escape route, Cato is left defenseless, and she slays her arch-nemesis once and for all. With Cato dead and the device in Sloane's hands, it's time for Phase 2. They experiment with the machine at a temporary headquarters, bringing artifacts from 2018 to their front yard. It functions as intended, and Sloane is confident that this will work. She just needs a helping hand from an old acquaintance, Agent Jones. He's laid low after the Zero War, but with Sloane's influence, she persuades him to go on her secret mission, to go to the past. His goal is to extract an unknown thing or person without changing the timeline. So they set the date, July 12, 2018, and Jones begins his journey. All that's there to guide him are audio logs left by Sloane, as she sends messages from the future back in time with a deadly reminder.
Everything you do will ripple forward to this very moment. You're back here for a reason. And it's not to change the future, by the way. Drop that fantasy right now. This is an extraction, and you're leading the way.
Well, despite this, Jones has started to alter the timeline. The Ice King and his prisoner never arrive in the island. The mech never gets constructed, and in order to complete his extraction, Jones ties the time machine to the scientist's rocket. The future, for the first time, is unknown.
This is the first time in countless lifetimes that I don't know what happens next. We're both heading off into the unknown. I guess this is goodbye for this me and that you. But we'll meet again. Reality's not done with us yet. Keep the campfires burning, Jones. Wherever and whenever you go.
Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. This has been something me and my team have followed for years, and while things feel confusing at times, it brings me so much joy to piece it all together like this. Recently, the creator of Fortnite storyline has departed from Epic Games, so